What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you've read the title of this video, then you probably know that this is going to be a little bit controversial for this channel, which has been really based around SP devices since its origin, really. So this is a video which I've been wanting to share for quite a long time now, but a few things very recently have happened which have really spurred me on to finally decide to talk about this topic and share it with you guys. I'm very nervous about releasing this video, but on my channel I've always kind of been about honesty, transparency, integrity, and those are things which I will never not be about because that's what I'm about as a person. So a lot of you probably won't even care about this, which is absolutely fine, but for me, I feel like it's quite important for me to share this with the community. Being someone that's obviously quite a prominent figure in the SP community, that kind of makes it hard, but also for me makes it important for me to share it, if that makes sense. So yeah, I am a little bit nervous about this one. All I'll say is please watch as much of the video as you can so that you get a full idea of where I'm coming from. And yeah, first of all, I want to just start by saying it's nothing scary or bad. Nothing bad's happened. I'm not ill, touch wood, or anything like that. This is just something that has been happening to me personally with my beat making, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So what is the reason for this video? For a long time now, this is my big confession really, I have been really struggling to make beats with SP devices, and I know that this is going to come across as quite a crazy statement from someone that's been championing SPs for so long, but I think if we go back in time a little bit and look at the origins of this channel, I started off on the SX, and looking back now, I really don't see that as a beat making device anymore. I used to think that it was possible to make beats on that thing, and it is technically possible to make beats on the SX and the A, but to me, it really doesn't offer enough in terms of the full beat making experience for it to be a full beat making device, or something I would consider to be a full beat making device. I think that's the best way of putting it. So I was starting to make content around it, obviously, and that's what the channel was about, and I was really enjoying sharing all the tips and tricks about that, obviously, and I still do enjoy doing that because I'm still doing it until this day. But then the Mark II came along and it looked like a completely new era for the SP beat community. That looked like there was going to be way more features packed in that made it an all-round beat making device that was very powerful, and it looked really promising. So obviously I got hold of the Mark II, started learning about it, started sharing tips on that and making full beats on it. And when I started using the Mark II, I really made a conscious effort to move towards the pattern sequencer and start making full beats using the pattern sequencer and trying to make different parts and all that kind of jazz, and really try and make the most of that area, because I didn't really feel like you could on the SX or the A. I actually was terrified of using that area just because it was so fiddly and difficult to use. So there's a lot of hope when the Mark II came for me. I really thought I was going to be able to knuckle down and start making better beats, or beats that I was happier with, but unfortunately it just hasn't happened for me. I've been trying really hard to create beats that sound good and that mainly that I'm happy with. And obviously I've uploaded the odd one here and there on the channel which I've been happy with, but I really genuinely don't think that you guys have seen how good I can be at making beats. And I know, and I'm not trying to come off as at all as arrogant or anything like that, but I think the main thing about this introduction of what I've been trying to say is that the SP devices have been really holding back my beat making for quite a long time now. So the reason why I know this is because in the background I've been making beats in other ways, and I can see and hear so much progress happening, and I come back and make a beat on my SP and I just feel infuriated and frustrated of how I just can't get that sound that I can with the other method, which I'm gonna mention in a minute, so don't worry about that. I'll talk about the other ways that I have been making beats. So basically what I've done for the rest of this video is I've proposed a few questions to myself, and hopefully this will help you to understand the full picture. I think this is the easiest way for me to structure this video. So yeah, hopefully it's not too much waffle. So that's the introduction. Basically, I've been really struggling to make beats with the SPs for a very long time, and I've basically got to the point where I'm kind of fed up of it, to be honest. So what have I been doing in the background which is so much better and which I've been getting better results with? So this is where the hammer blow is going to come for this channel, because I actually make most of my beats in Ableton, and I've known Ableton for a very long time. I've used Ableton so much, and I use Ableton for recording all my videos as well, actually, all the audio for my videos. I love the interface. I love the way it works. For me, I've never worked with another DAW which is just so intuitive and easy to understand. The learning curve for me with Ableton, like many years ago, was really, really quick. And more recently, I would say in the past kind of 2 or 3 years, I started to really see how powerful clips were. So I don't want to go into Ableton too much in this video because I'll be talking about all these other things in different videos and my workflow and that, etc. But basically, Ableton for me has allowed me to create beats which I'm happy with. And I think that's like the most important thing about this whole story. Is I'll get onto it in the conclusion as well, but for me, the most important thing about your beat making workflow and my beat making workflow is that it's getting you the best possible results. Now, obviously, there's other factors that come into it, such as you may want to make beats on the move, etc. Doesn't really matter. My main point is, my main goal is to keep improving as a beat maker and make the best beats that I can possibly make, and that is to my standards, and also enjoy it as well and be happy with the results. So that's why Ableton has been a big thing for me, because I enjoy the process of making beats with it because I think it's really simple and intuitive. I am really happy with the results, and I think they're some of the best beats that I've ever made. So that's the way I've been making beats, but it's not just Ableton, okay? So it's not just me sitting in Ableton making beats. I do that sometimes, obviously, but what I want to do is actually, moving forward, is to use my SP to basically as a sampler, as its kind of original purpose, I think, as a sampler, as a processing unit. I can then grab those samples and put them into Ableton and make full beats in there. Do the arrangement in Ableton. I think that's like the most important thing to know, is that the SP for arrangement is where I've been struggling. That's what I want to do in Ableton instead now. So what has brought on this change all of a sudden? Well, I think there have been, unfortunately, a few pretty nasty comments on the channel recently about my beats and how I'm not qualified to be sharing advice about beat making because my beats aren't good enough and stuff like that, and just some really horrible comments. And you guys know that, if I gave into the haters, I would have quit this channel a long time ago. And I will be completely honest, I do not get a lot of negative comments on this channel, which is really, really nice. I absolutely love the community around this channel. And a lot of the time, I just delete them. I don't really care. Like, I don't have the time or energy to put into people that just want to hate. If people want to offer constructive criticism, brilliant, I'll always listen. But people that just outright want to hate, I just usually just delete them. It's not an energy that's needed. But I think particularly these comments recently really hit me because I know that I'm capable of a lot better. So I know that the beats that are on my channel aren't as good as I can do. And so for someone to highlight that, I know it's a really nasty way to go about doing it, saying stuff like that, and I don't agree with it, obviously. But it's really weird having this layer underneath my channel where I know I'm actually pretty good at making beats. I'm happy, and I feel like I am much better than beginner, probably pushing up to intermediate, just past intermediate. I know my way around making a beat. So having that layer underneath and getting comments for the beats that I'm putting out on my channel, kind of frustrating in a way. So I don't want to give the haters too much energy, obviously, but that has sort of spurred me on to be like, well, to be honest, I've had enough of this. I want to actually show people what I can do with beat making, and then maybe it will silence the critics. So that's one of the reasons why, not the whole reason, but it definitely has been part of it. The second reason is because I have noticed recently that my beats that have been sharing online are getting a better reaction. And if you follow me on Instagram, kind of my last 5 uploads on Reels, I think, have been beats that I've made using the SP in Ableton, and then just use the SP to perform it. So hopefully that gives you an idea of the kind of direction that I'm moving in, and the fact that the quality of my beat making, I think, is getting a bit better. And I'm also sitting on a load of stuff which I've made in Ableton, and it's just like, I can't believe I made these beats, and not in an arrogant way at all, just completely shocked with how my standard of beat making is so much higher, I think, when I use the tools that I'm comfortable with, instead of forcing myself to use the SPs. So yeah, I've been having good reactions online to them, and yeah, just the final point really, I've just got a bit sick and tired of holding myself back, and I really do think that the time has come where I want to start really showing you guys what I'm capable of, and hopefully that means good things for the channel and good things for my beat making as well. Hopefully I can just keep improving. So the next question that I'm asking myself here, what's the future for my SPs? So obviously this isn't me gonna throw all my SPs in the bin and forget the SP ever existed. I love the SP devices. I love messing around with them. I love the effects. I've loved doing all the tutorials. Basically, I've loved everything about them up until the point where you start arranging a beat. That's the point where I just get really, really frustrated. So my SPs will definitely still be featured in my workflow. I will use them for a number of different reasons, which I'll quickly go over. I'm going to use them as samplers. I'm going to use them as a sketch pad. And I think that's one of the best things about the SP is for quickly putting ideas together. And obviously, in terms of the channel, I'm still going to be sharing all the tips and tricks, and I'm still probably going to do the occasional beat on the SP. But yeah, there will be a few differences further down the line. But all I'll say is, if you're a subscriber and watching this and thinking, right, it's time to subscribe, it's the end of the SP stuff, that's absolutely not the case. I will be showing you guys how I integrate it with my new workflow. I'll be showing you guys tricks and tips, and I'll still be showing you workflow tips and all that kind of thing. That side of the channel isn't going away. There'll just be a couple of new sort of deviations away from hardcore SP beat making. So the future isn't negative for me, it's massively positive, and I think, you know, there's still going to be stuff on the channel which you guys dig, and hopefully you'll be seeing better beats from me as well. So in a way, it's pretty much good news. So will the content be changing? That's another question. Well, yes and no. Like I've just mentioned, I will be still doing a lot of the SP stuff, and my channel is very much still going to be based around the SP. And I think something that you are going to see a lot moving forward is performances of my beats that I've made on the SP, hopefully in some good locations. So that is something that I've been on about bringing to the channel for years and years now. But now that I've got this confidence to be able to take my beats that I've already made with me and just perform them, that has really kind of like been a massive blocker for me with doing stuff outside, is because, like I've been mentioning in this video, a lot of the beats that I make on the SP I'm not really that happy with. So being able to make beats at home and really get them to a high standard and then go to locations and just perform them with the SP is huge for me. So that's what I will be doing a lot of on this channel. Generally speaking, the content is pretty much going to be the same apart from my personal beat making. So that's going to be the only difference. I'm going to be doing a few more videos about Ableton and how I integrate my workflow with that on the SP. And also, one of the good things about this as well, another good thing, is that I'm going to be able to use my older SPs a lot better and a lot easier, because I'm not going to be trying to make full beats on them. I'll just be using them for processing samples. So hopefully you're going to see more of my older SPs on the channel as well. So thank you very much for listening, guys. I think I've covered everything that I've wanted to cover. I've been looking at my notes here on my computer and just trying to make sure that I am completely clear with you guys about what's going on here. And in summary, I just want to say that I know this isn't purist. I know that a lot of you guys dig just sitting down and making beats on the SP, and that is something that I've championed for a long time on this channel. So, all I can say is, for me, it's time to move on and progress and stop holding myself back. So yeah, it's a bit crazy doing this video, and I do feel nervous about what you guys are going to say or do, but I do think for me it has to be done now. So sorry, but I'm just going to have to go for it. And yeah, I feel happy about it, and I hope that energy is going to transfer into the channel. And yeah, I just want to point out quite heavily in the conclusion as well that this isn't really a criticism of the products themselves, of the SPs. I love all the SPs, like I've mentioned. I just find the arrangement side of things a little bit difficult, me personally. Some of you guys love it, obviously, and there's other channels that I follow that are really good at making beats fully on the SPs, which I really, really love. But for me, it's just never kind of worked out. So it's not a criticism of the tools, because, a bad worker always blames his tools. I'm not blaming the tools. It's just to do with my preference in making beats and my workflows. It's just not really worked out that well. So yeah, hopefully moving forward, there's going to be more stuff with me performing on the SP. There's going to be better beats being shared on this channel, which I'm really, really excited about. And there's going to be a few videos about my new workflows, etc., etc. But that is my big confession. I hope it doesn't go down too badly with this community that we've got around the channel, and hopefully things are going to be even better from now on. So thank you very much to all of you for the support. I hope this doesn't upset you too much, and I hope you're all excited to see what's going to happen over the next few months. I'm really excited about the content, and I hope to see you guys watching some of my new videos soon.